back, everybody, to episode 25 of the Weebology podcast. I am your host, Ethan, and today I have a special guest with me. It is your other host, Ricky.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah,
I just thought it was about time to get you on, you know?
It's been a long time coming. I've heard big fan of the podcast. I got my own degree in Weeb Law and Weebology, and I think it's honestly overdue. A little bit,
right? Yeah, I would say
I'm a little disgruntled, frankly.
The fact that there was this big absence to the right of me, so far, I guess left of me in y'all's eyes, would definitely lead people to believe that there was just a big void that needed to be filled. So I figured, you know what, guys, I'd go out and get another co-host.
Oh, thank God he finally did, because as much as I like the podcast,
it was pretty boring.
It definitely
a one-way
felt
conversation.
It was weird. There's like you were talking to somebody, but like you didn't have video before, so
right.
I can't tell if you were just talking to yourself or you were just, I don't know. I was worried about you, man. I was worried about you.
Yeah, I had a tumor, I think.
You had a tumor.
Yeah.
So you were talking to your tumor.
Yep.
And that tumor also has a degree in Weebology?
Yeah, anywho, what are we talking about today there, Rick?
So today we were going to do an episode on a show that, I feel is a long time coming. It's something we mentioned in episode 0, our intro episode, as one of the cornerstones of, my anime experience, and I know Ethan's as well.
And certainly mine as well.
Mm-hmm. And today we'll be talking about Dragon Ball Z.
As you can see, I have a Cell Saga, which is the best saga.
Truly could be.
Dragon Ball Z. And what we're actually talking about today is the Buu Saga.
The considered problem child amongst the Dragon Ball Z community of all of the sagas therein. How many sagas are there? There might be 4. There's like the Saiyan Saga, Frieza, Cell, and then Buu. So if you go on any forum, you go anywhere where DBZ fans congregate, they will, the consensus is that this is an arc of very mixed reception. And we're here to talk about why. Why exactly is this arc the problem child of Dragon Ball Z? How would you kind of segment this arc out for those that maybe are unfamiliar? It's been, 20 years since they actually have seen the damn thing?
Yeah, great question, Ricky. So there's kind of 3 sections in my opinion. It's kind of the Gohan High School / World After Cell.
Boom.
The second section, Majin everybody.
Everybody's a Majin. The Majin resurrection piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last section is just like the Buu proper section. Boom.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen this arc ever, or again, it's been 20 years for you, or you just want a refresher course, was it Samo Gaming?
Yeah, Somo Gaming. We've talked about him before. He does a Dragon Ball Z in 27 minutes video.
It's quite funny.
If you watch from 20 minutes to 27 plus, that is the entire Buu Saga. Like, he talks super fast. He's got all these notes on the screen. He's like, you know what I mean?
It's very, very well done.
It's very well done. It gives you kind of a history of where Buu even freaking came from, in like a tiny bit, and then he just kind of goes into it from there. That'll save us kind of having to rehash all of this, which would, I don't know, if I just had a spitball, it would take about 50 minutes.
Yeah, totally, an hour 30, 2 hours of straight talking if you wanted to re-go over the entirety of this behemoth of an arc.
And honestly, who would do that?
No one would ever do that.
Only an idiot.
Yeah, like you would never notice a cut in a video or anything like that. It'd be crazy.
It would be insane, though.
But like I said before, this is considered a problem child of DBZ, but a lot of the best scenes, I think, in the entirety of the series come from this arc, which is strange. Like Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan 3 is, celebrated by a lot of people as one of the coolest transformations into a form this series offer.
So this has like great transformations.
Yeah, there are so many of them.
The
you have to have
Mystic thing was really sick.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool. I mean,
if underutilized,
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 3 for Goku twice were some of the coolest.
Yes.
And then Gotenks obviously goes Super Saiyan 3.
Right. Just the
which a
Gotenks
problem
in
for
general.
me, but cool Gotenks.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, I mean, while there are a lot of amazing transformations, I think it does speak to one of people's main complaints with this arc, and that is
Too many transformations.
too many transformations. No,
Never too many.
Yeah, with all the transformations mentioned, everyone doesn't like all the transformations. No,
Yeah.
it's the power escalation and the
Yeah,
power
agreed.
scaling. It's just it's always been prevalent in Dragon Ball. You know, Frieza had many forms. There had to be forms to rise to the occasion. Even Cell, as he absorbed other people, there had to be some form, some kind of power up to match him. But it never felt as rampant or runaway as this saga. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think basically the power ups previously and like the different forms, like they had to be visual so that the like studio audience and the people watching at home know that there's like some level of escalation going on.
Yeah.
So like those never felt really all that bad in the previous kind of arcs and things like that. But I would just say like how consistent and like how many there are in this arc is just kind of it's out of hand. And then also when you create a character or like multiple characters that like subsist basically completely off magic, like it kind of cheapens the show in my opinion.
See, this is where I kind of differ, because I like the idea of magic in Dragon Ball, and the Dragon Ball Super arc right now in the manga that's happening is against a wizard type antagonist. Like a wizard Moro is not mono, not the disease.
Yeah, mononucleosis.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku and Vegeta face off against their most
kissing
dangerous
monster. The kissing monster.
The disease that brought down many. But yeah, so I mean it really is the idea of magic being in a show that's so straightforward about fighting and battle power. It adds a whole new element of how the heck can brute force and muscles and spiky hair overcome a force that, they are so unfamiliar with. And you had kind of a Superman parallel that really kind of
so for me,
yeah.
I don't know how you would know that, but
we talk about DC every so often.
Yeah. Anyway, so DC to me, one of the problems with like so they have kind of this entire section of DC that's kind of revolving around magic. There's actually like a specific name for it, like magic, and like they call it like dark arts, I think was the movie came out.
Nice.
And that's like Constantine, Zatanna, a couple of those guys.
Okay.
Dr. Fate, I think, is theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, so Superman is like unbelievably strong and has like very little weaknesses. He's weak to certain types of kryptonite.
Rocks, essentially.
Yeah, different, colors of kryptonite, and then also magic. So this guy with like a body of steel has a mind of mush. No. So he's not exactly like super bad at dealing with magic, but he gets affected by magic more than you would expect of someone like the Man of Steel. And I mean, like, I think it's a lot in the same like vein as Toriyama, right? He's created this character that is so freaking strong. Like, how are you gonna really beat him, right?
Yeah.
And like Goku never really has a limit of potential. Gohan doesn't have a limit of potential. All these guys don't. Neither does Superman, right? And so they kind of all just kind of expand constantly to meet any challenge. So like unless you add something crazy like off the wall like magic, like it doesn't feel like there's any real like stakes, I guess. So in that regard, I'll agree with you. It makes sense like to add like, so Deborah has a spit attack that can turn people to stone.
Right.
Majin Buu can turn people to freaking
candies and chocolates and such.
He can absorb people. Bobbity's obviously just a freaking wizard.
He's literally a wizard with like with a ball sack for a head. So
anyway,
yeah,
those kind of things are really the only way you kind of add threat to like post Cell. Nothing really feels like, oh my god, he's so strong. You know what I mean? Like when Majin Buu came out, if he didn't like start using all this weird magic and shit. I don't know that I would have been as afraid.
Yeah.
Especially his like laissez-faire attitude in his first form.
And that's the thing, right? Is that the introduction of magic in a show where, you know, it's exactly what you said. It adds a level of threat, not by the scale, but by the attribute of the threat itself. Like, you know, if someone comes in, powers up, their key's crazy, there's a linear path that Goku or Vegeta or Gohan can take to overcome it. You just get stronger in your own way. But when it comes to magic, that introduces an entire other element that uses a little more brawn and cunning, less than brawn, than more than brain than cunning, to actually overcome this kind of thing, which I will mention later in this episode about one of my favorite scenes. So, on Buu, how did you feel about him as a main antagonist overall?
I think the backstory of him, like, basically bringing destroying galaxies and being on, like, the brink of, like, destroying all of Earth's galaxy and all this stuff. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think they set him up all right as, you know, I think the quote was he managed to eat his way through a galaxy in just a couple of years. That's an insane feat.
Yeah.
That's some, you know, thousands and thousands of times of light speed feats.
You know, he's killing off Kais left and right.
He's literally God Slayer.
You know, doing all these things, but like, it's odd that this like pupa or whatever your like little egg thing is sitting on Earth, right? And
with that raisin
yeah,
looking
like
thing, that
little
little milk
nasty dried out peach pit.
Yeah, it's like a milk dud or like a
definitely
walnut
a peach pit, a nectarine pit.
It's a little pit.
So he's like, it's chilling on Earth. You got the Kai that ended up working to revert him back to that stage, Supreme Kai, kind of around, and they don't know he's like where specifically he is, and they kind of kick off this whole thing by letting Gohan even get kind of energy sucked in the beginning.
So
that was the thing that pisses me off the most about this arc, is like, it was all avoidable.
It was all avoidable. To set the stage on that, for those that don't need a little refresher.
All avoidable.
All avoidable. This basically, the Tournament of Power is occurring on Earth.
The World Martial Arts Tournament, not the Tournament of Power.
It's a tournament. There's power present. You're right, but that's a
saying,
super
could be quite
not the Tournament of Power. The martial arts tournament of the world. You have all the boys there. You have Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, two random godly boys, two random, you know, Majin boys, and a couple other players like the world famous Mr. Hercule.
Mr. Satan!
World famous brother.
Dude, I will say one of the funniest parts, the way that tournament ends is after all this weird shit's going on, Android 18 is there, and she's the last contestant, and she has to beat Hercule. And he goes up to her and he goes, all right, I need you to let me win.
I know you're
He's
literally
like, no, I need you to let me win. I will pay you 100 million zenny and give you the prize money if you let me win. And she's like,
deal, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, because she's like, she's very like avarice filled and only wants like money, right?
I respect
that was the
it.
whole reason she even got involved in the tournament in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And he punches her and she's like, whoa, blasts back and
falls
then
out of the
wins,
ring,
right? And so kind of keep Hercule's kind of station in society, because I just always felt that was so funny, because he's like genuinely one of the weakest, you know, characters in the main cast.
Right.
He's like kind of very auxiliary, but he's weaker than any Z fighter. He's probably weaker than Chi-Chi. Like, if you really like think about it,
dude, Chi-Chi could smack Mr. Hercule's ass, like, without question.
And he'd probably like it. No,
he would, yeah.
So, like, it's just always was funny to me, is like, he's built up such a persona, and like everyone like adores him in the world. They think he's the guy who killed Cell and all this stuff.
Well, as a quick aside, he does serve a purpose to the Z fighters. He is their publicist scapegoat. Like,
right. But that's what I was gonna say. Is it's so funny because he's actually doing them a service as well. Because if these guys were found out to be like gods,
they're gods,
there would be problems, right? And so it's pretty awesome. Like, you know, Gohan as a little kid, like, I don't know, was he 12 or something like that when he went Super Saiyan 2 and beat Cell? Like, they just like they think of him as like the golden warrior, or the like golden child or whatever.
Some random
but still
dude.
Hercule beat him, right? And so it's really cool that like they got to live in basically anonymity because Hercule like took that all on. And
what a price to pay.
Yeah. Oh, what a
world savior 2 times over. Oh
no. Man, I hate to be so rich.
Literally 100 millionaire plus.
Yeah, so I mean, but it's cool because they all kind of end up, obviously later on with Videl and Gohan's relationship, they all kind of end up being in kind of cahoots, right? And so it seems like there's some more sharing of money. Plus,
of course.
That's, I don't know. I just found that really cool. That scene where he's like, please let me win.
Dude,
I can't freaking do this right now, dude.
Do me a solid, dude. Like, just help me out, man. Just
remember
help me
earlier, he actually fights Trunks, I think, because Trunks won.
And Trunks
shit on the guy.
smacks his ass.
And they're like,
funny.
oh, what a good guy. He let him win.
He's self-realizing. It's now a perpetual cycle
it's
of
so
he's the man.
amazing.
But at that same tournament, they basically, the Supreme Kai and Kabuto let these 2 guys, Spopovich and Yami, 2 of Babidi the Wizard's minions, whose only job is to go out and collect energy to revive Majin Buu, lets them suck upon with their weird energy lamp thing all of the energy of the most strong living being on the planet. Are you kidding me? Like, how is that? And Supreme Kai lets it happen. He's just like, they're going to come out and suck his energy. I need you to let this happen.
Right. And like Krillin and all of them
like,
are
what?
like, I don't know what you think here, buddy, but he doesn't need our help. Gohan doesn't need our help.
Oh my God. Krillin truly is a failed comedian in terms of everything he says. Oh my God. So yeah, again, there's plot points here that are just totally unavoidable. And Majin Buu could have been stopped 7 ways to Sunday before he's actually revived. But I guess the reason for that was because Supreme Kai needed to find out where his milk dud was.
It's also effing stupid. So Yamu and Spopovich are going after Gohan.
Yes.
Once he basically, Kibito pisses him off, so he shows him Super Saiyan 2. And he's like, damn, this is really, really strong.
Suck my golden dick, Kabuto.
The Kais, they literally use magic to hold Gohan in place so he can't fight back when they come and try to steal his energy.
Yes.
It's like even worse than just like letting them fight it out and be like, oh, Gohan lost.
Yeah.
No, they literally cucked this guy.
That's so bad too, because like the way I was telling Ethan, like, why don't you just let like Krillin get a little suckle and just like let follow him
Suckle
then
upon the teat of Krillin.
Krillin, despite being not ideally the strongest or even close to the strongest Z fighter, he still has way more energy than anyone else on the planet, excluding the rest of them.
Yeah.
He probably would have gotten. They would have gotten the good suck. They would have taken it back and just dropped off this big deposit of energy, and they would have found it without there being an issue. However,
also, kind of massive plot point here.
Yes.
So Goku has instant transmission, right?
Yes.
So couldn't he have just met Spopovich and Yamu, let them go back with whatever energy, and then just instant transmission directly to them?
Ethan, you're bringing up some really quality points right now, because
this is so fucked.
It's so bad that
he's
he
such a scuffed arc. I hate
scuffed arc, because that's what it is. We feel so feverish about this because it really does have some of the most iconic moments in the entire series, and yet it somehow still fumbles the ball so hard. Like,
it's like honestly bonkers city that they let this shit go down like this.
I know, and so.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Do you think it's because like the Cell arc was so well structured, they literally had time periods to like train and all this stuff? Is that what like in contrast makes this seem so like ass fuckery bullshit?
I thought about that a bit, and I think a big part of it is Toriyama doing an about face about who is the main character in this arc. He kind of, speaking of Gohan getting cucked, he also got cucked by the god of this world, Toriyama himself, and he basically left off last arc, right?
I don't know. I didn't do anything to him.
Oh, you're the god of this world?
Oh, sorry. You said god of this world.
Oh, so. God. You can take your Weebology and shove it up your ass. No, so basically, I don't know how do I phrase this. It's like Gohan comes off of being the kind of fully realized successor to his father's post of the guardian of this planet, fully and undisputed. Then cue to him at the beginning, sans Goku, in the beginning of the Majin Buu arc, and he's got an all right story starting to go. Like we mentioned, he's trying to be a normal high school kid. He tries to defend, his local government, I guess, or local city, under the guise of the Great Saiyaman, which looks like a cheesy Captain Falcon.
In other words, Great Saiya-chan.
Great Saiya-chan. Great Saiya-kun. And, so, I mean, it's almost as the Toriyama realized, oh, shit, I can't write the story without Goku.
Why do you think that is, though? Because, I don't know, I don't really see that, like, unless... I think probably ratings were plummeting or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was, like, it's a boring-ass section of the, like, story. Like, that is not Gohan's fault.
No, and as an arc as a whole, there are all the plot beats to have made this Gohan story. The first part about him trying to assimilate in a normal society.
Awesome. I actually love that. Like,
it is
slice of life.
It's
part
great.
Of it.
If you're gonna slice a life me, at least give me a god trying to slice a little bit off for himself. You know,
man.
That I can deal with. But what really kind of got me,
honestly, it was such a payoff for me because you had this kid whose whole life has been fighting, like trying to save the world, right?
Yes.
He basically gives up childhood. He gives up like the ability to have friends and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of something we alluded to back in episode 1 when we talked about the Great Daddy debate, where like Goku doesn't have a choice but to keep training him, or else what are you gonna do? The world ends.
Yeah, right.
But to me, it was such a payoff to see him just like kind of living life, falling in love with this girl, like hanging out with his brother. Like, I don't know, it was just a very big cathartic payoff for me.
I totally agree. Yeah.
For them to like choose, I can only imagine ratings being bad during that section is the only reason that he had to be like, oh shit, bring Goku back ASAP, because otherwise, like, I don't know who didn't like it.
Yeah, so the one thing I would have liked to have seen is Gohan being removed from that lifestyle and then forcibly dragged in, not by his father, but by circumstance.
By the hair of his chinny chin chin.
Literally by the nape. The nape of his chin? No. The nape of his, just drug back into
my eye.
The nape of my eye. And so he, it would have been cool to see him drug back into the world of defending the earth and fighting and training by circumstances, and knowing that Goku's not coming back. It is just me.
That would have been so sick.
It's just me. And then him kind of wrestling with the doubts and like flashbacks and kind of light PTSD from having to literally put the solar system on his back against Cell.
Well, that would be such. I agree with you, because he literally throughout the series has always been like, well, my dad will save me, or like, my dad will take care of it. Because he even says that in the Cell arc. He's like, I'm maybe not strong enough, but Dad's got it, right? Because after they come out of the hyperbolic time chamber,
right,
they're all talking like, why are you so freaking confident, Goku? Because he was just like...
And everyone thought it was... Yeah, because everyone thought it was like...
he's got it.
Yeah, but no, not he, but he. Little man down here's got this on lock. So it would have been nice to have seen for the first time, because Gohan as a kid kind of realizing it.
Son Gohan, Son Goku.
Son Gohan, Son Goku. Him realizing that, that his dad's not coming back. In the heat of the moment, in the heat of a Earth potentially destroyed battle, he then maybe didn't digest what that really meant. But him as a more fully grown adult, just maybe as an older kid, he then sees the gravity of, oh snap, Dad's not coming back. It's on me now. So him training, him going to the Kais, even have Majin Buu be revived and taken away with the Kais the same way he already was. But have the Mystic transformation be the transformation, the Ultra Instinct of this arc, the one that ends it all.
Well, it was, right? It just didn't end up doing anything.
And here we are. That's what I'm saying.
Opportunity.
It's a squandered opportunity.
So I want to talk about the Mystic stuff really quick.
Okay.
There's like a lot of transformations I think we should at least touch on, but this is the one that I think the big daddy of the arc. Like, everyone loves Mystic Gohan.
Oh
right?
God, Ultimate Mystic Gohan is the tits,
Ultimate
dude.
Mystic, God Gohan. No, so the training, did you like find that boring as hell? Like how long it took for him to like do anything?
Oh, absolutely. I think the whole Z Sword thing was okay. I think having a different training style, being from the gods themselves, should have been something like that.
Yeah.
Given a lot of, lore weight to the sword and all that. I like that. I kind of like that. And the whole imagery of Gohan being the chosen one with pulling the sword out. Good stuff. Ample stuff. But the breaking of the sword.
See, that's honestly my favorite part is when Goku's there,
Yeah.
like messing with him basically, and he's
Right.
like, they tell him like, oh, there's no way Goku's gonna pick up this sword, right? Because he's like, hey, can I swing that around for a second?
Yeah.
And he picks it up with relative ease. He's like starting to swing it around, and they're like,
Right.
holy shit!
How are there two chosen ones?
Right?
But that just showed, that's the thing. Like, Goku, if this was written right, Goku should have no place here.
Yeah.
Technically. Maybe
That's what I'm saying is like, am I part of the problem because I think that was the best part of that like training arc?
I don't think so, because I think that the way it was written up to that point, Goku's involvement was more than necessary. In terms of like on a storytelling mechanic, Toriyama kind of saw that, ooh, this is not going how I'd like it to go. Goku, let's throw some Goku at it. Let's just go Goku at it. And I don't know.
But the funniest freaking part is the way they break the sword.
Yeah, he throws that big old chunk of
That big ass rock.
Cheatin'? Is that what it's
Oh,
called?
it's Seke Stone, isn't it?
That might be. Oh, sorry. You're a. Well, I think it's a different name in the dub. It's like Cheatin' or something like that.
I thought it was the same stone that they made the
Tournament of
Power.
It
out
is.
of.
It very much is. So
It is like Seke Stone.
Stone.
Anyway.
But yeah, so
don't
hardest
quote me on that.
hardest
but-
stuff in Universe 7.
And they're all laughing. They're like, oh, the sword's gonna cut through this like butter, and it snaps on it.
snaps
when
it
he
fucking in half.
He pitches it to him, and he hits it like a baseball bat, and the
was pretty
sword
funny.
snaps, and they're like, what? You broke the Z sword?
You broke the Z sword.
Yeah, it is so freaking funny, man.
But I think the whole thing with the old Supreme Kai, that was just strange. Like,
I think it was dumb. I agree, but he was the only reason that Mystic even happened because he unlocked his potential.
there had to be another way to do that. There had to be. I don't
Sorry.
know. I know.
man.
I actually don't have a solution for that one. I don't even have a proposed solution, but
Here's a question I have. So
Yeah.
I just rewatched some of the Namek arc, and well, actually, I think it might have just been from that Somo video.
yeah.
So the like chieftain or whatever of the Namekians, the big fat guru guy, he unlocks Gohan and Krillin's potential.
Yes.
Is that the same thing as the Kai's unlocking potential?
I'm not 100% sure. I think it was,
It was probably the prototype for the eventual Kai.
I think what the Namekian Guru was doing was essentially all that you have right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally in the moment where the Kais might have been like, that's the thing too. This is your entirety of your potential. Like, almost like a really kind of controlled version of like Gon's transformation in Hunter x Hunter, where he traded all of what he ever could be right now in that moment, where this is more like, I'm going to open the floodgates and basically show you a path to power where this is you. And one of the things I actually really liked about that was the lack of Super Saiyan. I think that actually tapped into more of the hybrid Saiyan human aspect of Gohan.
I do agree with that.
Because this is like what happens when you mix Saiyan and human blood together. Well, we really didn't know because it only ever tapped into the Saiyan part. But I think it would have been great for Gohan to be more celebrated, less of, oh, we're gonna unlock your hidden potential, but like the Kai's training him like, let's look into what happens when you meld the two powers, because it's clear that Krillin can power up, Tien can power up. Why can't you really meld that human ki with that Super Saiyan ki and just mash them together? I don't know. There are ways that you could. Gohan was set up to be the chosen boy, but it didn't ever felt like it clicked with his story in the end. They had a good game going with Cell, and I don't know. It just kind of petered way off for me.
You know what? This is totally my opinion right now, but
Go for it.
maybe Goten and Trunks screwed it all up.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
Because they're half Saiyans too, right?
Yes.
So you'd imagine they'd be able to follow kind of the same trajectory as Gohan.
Yeah.
But they're like, honestly, infinitely stronger than Gohan. Like at their age. They're 7 years old and they're Super Saiyan 3s.
Yes. As a combined force, yes, they are Super Saiyan 3s.
But like what I'm saying is it cheapens the whole story that we've watched so far of like Gohan being like unbelievably like genius, basically fast growth and things like that.
Right.
Like really strong for his age and stuff like that. Like high power level against Raditz as a little kid, right?
Yeah.
But I honestly think Goten or Trunks at the same age kicks the shit out of Raditz. And doesn't have to use his head and turn into a monkey.
Yo, they kick the shit out of Frieza.
Right. What I'm saying though is
merit.
like it seems like he lost track of the story he was kind of on.
Right.
And now he's just like, let's just throw a bunch of like cool ass things in. Because like Gotenks and his weird powers, like he's like likes the way that Majin Buu's using magic and starts using magic. And it's just like, what the hell is going on?
Weird key manipulation. I think it should have been kind of a flip scenario from what it was. If you notice that, did Gotenks get absorbed before Gohan showed up on the scene? No, right? I think it should have been flipped where everyone knew that Gohan was the guy and that maybe the Kai said, we're going to go get Gohan trained up as readily as possible. We need you guys to stall time. And then Goku comes in with the fusion dance and says, here's a good way to stall. We can do this. We only need so much time. And then that's where fusion kind of comes in as a way to either potentially beat Majin Buu, but never set up that way. To like keep him occupied so that the real chosen one can come in and Mystic Gohan can slap. Like he did there for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a badass battle.
It was a cool way of like bringing him back to the fight too, because at that time, Goten, Trunks, and Piccolo are the only ones left on Earth, basically, with any real potential here. Mm-hmm. And they feel this insane power coming for them, right? And they're like, it's got to be Goku. No one else is this strong.
Nice, see?
And then the prodigal son returns.
You feel those beats, right?
Right.
It's
all
that's
what
there.
It was meant to be, right?
It's all
like,
there.
Obviously, right? And then they're like, no, that's my brother. Yeah. And so, like, as a viewer and a big fan of Gohan all these years, you're like, hell yes.
That's badass.
The boy from Cell arc is back,
yes,
right?
And better than ever.
And so he's bitch slapping the shit out of Majin Buu at this point, right? And he's cocky as hell.
That's always been his downfall, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he I think. Yep, he just gets absorbed.
He just goes.
It's like, what the fuck, man?
The boy gets
no
scooped.
Payoff.
The boy
Absolutely
gets
no payoff to the power, and I think that's the biggest problem with this arc.
Is that a lot of there never felt like if they took all the work to build up, because they had the Kais from nearly the beginning, and if they were to have this is the boy we were looking for and had a big grand plan where maybe he got his Super Saiyan, like to show that his Saiyan powers alone wouldn't be enough. You need the human element to make you something like, worthy of beating Majin Buu. What a great story arc that'd be. Where if he was Ascended Super Saiyan, it got sucked, then he's basically left powerless, and not like sucked forever, but like it's clear that it's Ascended Super Saiyan's not enough. Saiyan isn't enough. It's just, that would have been...
Yeah, but like remember, their whole plan in the beginning was like make sure he never even gets revived in the first place. So, like, there was no way to, like, say, okay, this is the kid we're looking for. We're going to just go train him, right? Mm-hmm. Which is obviously the better way of going about this. Because instead of feeding him the power, like, just continuing cultivating that off to the side. Yeah. Or, like, say the Kais took him to... I guess their planet probably works a lot like the hyperbolic time chamber, where it's, like, time compressed and things like that.
I could see that.
But, like... take him out of the equation and say, look, if he gets revived with all these other guys around, okay, but we still have this kind of like trump card. That would have been really, really cool. The thing that I'm a little like, I'm just keep thinking about this stupid ass situation where Supreme Kai lets this freaking happen, right?
Right.
King Kai can basically talk to anyone telepathically on Earth whenever he wants.
Yes.
Bibbidi's on Earth, or Babidi,
Yeah.
why can't he just say like, "Hey, Babidi,
Bro.
you know what I mean? Don't be an
Bro.
asshole." and then Babidi gets all pissed off or whatever.
Babidi, don't be an asshole.
And they pinpoint exactly where he is. They go kill Babidi, and it's over.
I mean, you're right. I mean, that's
Like, I just think.
so.
I
That's
think
the thing.
as an arc, it was such a weakly put together plot.
Yeah,
And I think that's where everyone gets really annoyed. Is like some of the sickest scenes maybe in the show, right? Like so cool transformations. Some of those like little kind of like off the cuff things that people say to each other, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you know Gohan, but he doesn't need our help. You know, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 and all the like the stage in the martial arts tournament, like all the
tiles
individually
fly up,
and then they slam back once
Fantastic.
he finally finishes his transformation. The multiple Super Saiyan 3 transformations where like the world is shaking, the like literally weather is changing around him.
And we were talking
like,
about the Mystic Gohan transformation.
So cool.
That was so literally blew the grass off of the ground.
Yeah, like
that was
insane.
so cool.
But then like the story is just so freaking janky, and like you throw magic in it, you throw all these weird ass pulls from all the characters. And to me, it was just such a like ill thought out kind of story.
You're 100% right.
It was the story was the bad part, and that's like the first time that's been a real issue in Dragon Ball Z.
And that's the thing too. And who at the end of the day comes to save the day? Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, that's what do you know? Like there was no progression, there was no handoff of succession that was so readily, basically like Toriyama T-balled his own shot up and whiffed it. Like, it was a perfect tee up.
Oh,
and,
also, and like, let's talk about how they win for a second. They
Yeah.
go inside, they literally get eaten by Majin Buu as Vegito.
It's like a guilty pleasure part of this arc for me. I actually kind of like seeing that.
Cells at work shit?
Yeah, cells at work. Cells at work. Oh, God, they became the red blood cell lolly, as we all know.
Anyway, so, like, to me, that's really dumb. He goes in, he, like, kind of somehow takes all of the Z fighters and gets them out, which makes no sense.
Right.
And then he also finds Fat Buu and lets him get out too.
Yeah.
And then so that reverts other Buu back. And then, you know, they do whatever they need to kill his ass. And then they like it's like a spirit bomb ends up killing him like always. And then it's like Goku's like, I just really want like a new person to come back and be, you know, I wish I could have, you know, fought.
If you were a good person,
again.
I bet we would have been friends. Come back as a good person, we can fight sometime.
Yeah.
So
Oob is born.
So we did. Oob. And kids, did you know Oob is Boo backwards?
Yeah, but it's also just like stupid as shit because like Fat Boo's still around and like nice now, right? It's just like I don't know. It's such a weird like. Beginning sucked, ending sucked. Everything in the middle was like interesting and like not enough of a payoff. I think is like basically how I'm gonna summarize it.
Nice.
Bad.
Bad. So,
but cool.
The big plot point that I actually just thought up. How did Boo as an entity get stronger when they remove more things? Kid Boo, right? When they removed Fat Boo, everything he absorbed. Blah, blah, blah. And that is when he became Kid Buu, right? How did he get stronger when he had less power? Because isn't that the whole point? He absorbs one of the Z fighters. Buu gets stronger. Buu gets stronger. Have less things inside of him. Buu gets way stronger.
Yeah.
How is that real?
It might be more of like the personalities clashing within him.
So now he's like more focused.
Yeah, just
like a rage
straight
ball.
up rage, like chaotic evil.
The only thing he's thinking is, I just want to go back into my milk dud. I just
all
want to go back into my
he's
walnut.
thinking is he wants to destroy the world and make him the god of the destruction.
Yes, he's like, you are playing checkers and I'm playing super chess. This is what's happening right now. So is there things story-wise that you did like about this arc at all? Like any redeeming story quality to it?
Well, I mean, I loved the like slice of life aspects of the beginning. Like I said, I loved like that cathartic payoff of like Gohan being able to kind of relish in the peace that he created. I liked a lot of the like.
Yeah, he earned that. I didn't even think about him relishing and actually enjoying the piece that he solely set up.
Yeah, well, that's solely. They all died a
Oh, sorry,
million
you're
times
right.
to make it happen.
You're
but,
right. Hercule also helped. You're right.
Well, I mean, that's my next point. Like, the Hercule shit is still funny to me.
It's always funny. It's a good time.
Because, like, I honestly, when I first watched it, I hated him. I'm like, this is so freaking stupid. Why push down this, like, complete dork down our throats, right? But, like, as I just got older, I was just like, you know what? He's just, like...
He's just a dude, man.
He's just trying to, like...
He's trying to hang with the big...
You know what I mean?
He's hanging with the big boys. He's out getting that cash. Like, I bet the Z Fighters weren't even involved. Like, he would be the world's strongest. Like, he'd be OG, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
he'd be it.
Totally.
The one thing I do like about this arc story-wise on a grander scale is how they treated Vegeta. I actually really did like...
Majin Vegeta?
Majin Vegeta was a very interesting part of his entire character arc. I mean, he came to Earth thinking he was the shit. He had Saiyan pride up to his neck, all 4'10" of them.
Get absolutely roasted.
Got him! But he then starts to, as he fights against and starts to fight with Kakarot and with the Z Fighters, he then eventually marries Bulma. Like, he starts to assimilate himself and learn to fight for others. And then the Majin spell happened, and as you put it, it preyed on the darkness in his heart. And one of the big points of darkness was his
wow, it's like you read my mind.
One of the things inside of his said darkened heart was his inability to beat and overcome Goku. So
my inability to call you.
Goku.
Yeah.
Dad. He then goes and basically he just becomes a dick again. Just a hardcore dick. And he tries to, egg Goku on into fighting him despite knowing that it would be to Majin Buu's resurrection. And one of the coolest scenes is when he basically goes to one of his lowest points and blasts like hundreds of people in the stands.
Yeah, but I think it's like so
tournament.
true to his character to like not give a fuck about reviving Majin Buu,
right?
But just being like, look, we've been frenemies for all this time. Let's just freaking finally do this, and like, I can regain my Saiyan pride and all this crap, right? And I think it really played to his character a lot that he was, I guess, easily swayed, and then like that 100%. Fight needed to happen. I think.
Yes.
I think it's always been kind of annoying how Goku just is like so cool with him, and it's like this guy obviously freaking hates you and wants to fight you, right?
Yes, yeah. And I mean, before Goku was, soundly ahead of Vegeta, but then with this mind control spell, this Bobbity mind fuckery, he does get a power boost of sorts, right? I mean,
how bad do you think Vegeta would feel if he knew that Goku had Super Saiyan 3 and didn't even use it on him?
Oh, I forgot he never knew.
Oopsie.
Yeah, that would have been... Oh, no. He would have been really, really upset.
Yeah.
So, basically, does that mean Goku was basically toying with him the entire time?
That's a yes, Rick.
Oh, yeah. That was a hard yes. So, you saying that he could have gone Super Saiyan 3, cut Vegeta down right then, and not given Bobbity enough energy to revive Buu?
Almost confident the second he transformed into Super Saiyan 3 would have blasted all that energy right into Buu. And
Boo's walnut.
Woke him up.
Oh, damn. Actually, you know what? You're right. Kickbacks. This guy earned a kickback. Some of them sweet kickbacks. So, yeah, I mean, I like the fight. I like the Goku versus Vegeta thing, but I think, honestly, Vegeta's story culminating in him sacrificing himself for not just his pride, but his kid, his wife, and even his frenemy Goku. And that really showed just this last big dip and one big rise in Vegeta's character arc. And I thought actually that was handled very well. I think the Majin Buu arc did Vegeta very nice.
I think, when you think about like things like this where we're like, wait, Goku had Super Saiyan 3 and he didn't use it. It like cheapens the shit out of some of these fights, right?
Yeah.
And so my question is like, you had mentioned that transformation to Super Saiyan 3 is cheap. potentially in this timeline, maybe in a different timeline. You mentioned that.
I did. Different timeline.
Okay, so Cards on the Table. We recorded a lot of this before. It sucked.
I was waiting for you to bring it
on.
up. I was waiting for you to bring it up. We had 49 minutes. We had 49 minutes of footage that maybe no one will ever hear. And it was essentially us trying to go beat for beat of the plot of the Majin Buu Saga. And
it's sooked.
Yeah, and Ethan was just like, hold on. Dude, we're like 50 minutes in.
Like,
we're like halfway done.
Sucks.
We're halfway in, dude. This is not going to go well. Like, do you just want to not do a summary? It's like 20 years old. People know. So if you don't know, just go watch it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Vegeta, I think, was handled quite well. Piccolo was made to be Big Green Daddy again for Gotenks and Trunks.
I don't know. I think
Goten and Trunks. Sorry, and then subsequently Gotenks.
What is cool, like in Super, for instance, is that they made every character kind of have a part to play.
Yeah.
And they all were useful in some kind of occasion. This arc, not so.
Not even
the
close.
only 3-4 people that are useful. 5.
Okay.
Gohan,
Yep.
Goku,
Yep.
Vegeta,
Yep.
Gotenks.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. Because you can't even count Goten and Trunks.
Yeah.
And then Piccolo. You know, he always gets daddy points.
What, he's useful because he's training them how to do a dance?
Yes, because we wouldn't
twirl
have
like the
Gotenks.
little ballerina.
Yes, and twirl in unison. 1, 2, 3, step and go. No.
Touch hands.
Touch hands. And so Piccolo, the man's the greatest dad of 20 forever. Obviously.
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad. Sorry, my pops. But so I think by having such a large cast of characters and, you know, all of the Majin minions, so to speak, I think it would have been actually really cool if all of the fights to stall was kind of, as you said, no engines, no energy suckery, none of that.
Yes.
Only basically the Kai's coming to get Gohan. You're the chosen one. Come with us. He gets removed from the situation and trained up in a very mystical way to produce Mystic Gohan. Then all of those Majin minions that had plenty of names and plenty of backstories, and some of them even had planet lore from where they're from.
I'm Puya.
Yes, Puya.
I'm from Puya. Puya Puya.
Yes.
No.
So, do you
I
get
swear his name was Poi.
something like
Anyway.
that. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
though?
like
All
they
of the
kind of
minions.
stall. So it's
Yeah.
funny that you mentioned that because that is kind of the plot of Cell Arc because Goku gets his big heart problem.
Oh yeah.
Big boy
okay.
hype problem.
Yeah.
And they all kind of just stall Cell until he comes back, right?
Right.
So I think obviously tried and true, it would not have been bad to see something similar, just with different villains.
Leave it to Gohan. Same kind of thing. Beef all of the minions up a little bit. Make them actually challenging. Have Fusion involved. Have Super Saiyan 3 involved. Have all of it involved just to stall. Because it's a race against time would have been really interesting. It's either Majin Buu gets hatched and then stronger, or Gohan become Mystic Boy, and basically racing against those two things while the Z fighters kind of keep that at bay would have made this arc way more cool. And you wouldn't have to leave any of the cool stuff out. All the transformations and the new techniques, that could all stay.
I agree.
Just reshuffle things. Toriyama, you had all the pieces.
You had a perfect game going.
You had a really sweet puzzle and you put it together upside down. You put it together wrong.
You fool.
You fool. I'm going to go ahead and say it. You fool. But at least you brought it back with Super, right? Right?
I didn't hate Super as much as everyone did, but whatever.
I actually didn't hate Super too much, but I think parts of it had similar sufferings that.
Well, absolute ass pulls left and right, but
are you
whatever.
Are you telling me doing a super arc at some point? Super episode?
Yeah, I mean, I guess at some point we're gonna do a Super episode.
Super episode. Put it on the imaginary board. Haven't brought that one back in a couple episodes, so.
Yeah, probably 15.
But who's counting, right? So yeah, final words. The arc. How did you feel? 20 years later.
So what's crazy is, like, looking back, I cannot stand it, but I love it.
Right.
Is that like weird to say?
Is it a nostalgic aspect for you think?
Of course.
Yeah, that's always going to have rose-tinted glasses of things. Evaluating it as objectively as I possibly can.
Honestly, didn't like Boo.
Yeah, man, I didn't like Boo as a villain. I think
Candy thing's stupid as shit.
yeah, if they would have kept it at Super Boo onward, I actually may have been more favorable with the idea. There is no denying there's a reason why some of the most iconic scenes and mainstays of the series came from here, because Toriyama's, as much as we called him a fool, he's not dumb. If that's fine to say. He may have had a hiccup. He may have had a hiccup. He may have had a hiccup.
So Boo, you said good.
I think
up to Super Boo.
I think no, fuck Fat Boo. Fat Boo can fuck off.
Got it.
It's Super Boo onward. That would have been
it.
Yeah, that would have been fine. Gohan
Super Saiyan 3
can stay. That can stay.
Okay. Mystic Gohan
has to stay.
Okay. Gotenks,
a more secondary role, but he can stay. He needs to be a stalling tactic. But
what about like weird story where Hercule and the dog and all that shit? Like,
if Fat Boo fucks off, so can they.
Great.
just saying. I'm just saying.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I mean, Fat Boo that storyline only existed because Fat Boo did.
For sure.
So, Goku, step the fuck outside. Give Gohan a little bit of the spotlight. You did it with the end of Cell.
He's your boy.
He's your boy. You groomed the man. Now let him play. Let the man do his thing. What's the deal with that?
And airplane food, am I right?
Am I right? Well, no, because I can fly and I'm Gohan and I'm the best boy. But yeah, so like I said, the pieces are here for a great arc, but they were put together in a problematic way, making for what basically was a lackluster end to some of the best arcs in anime ever. Like, some of the most tightly written arcs in all of shonen. So, would you watch it again?
You know how in Kai they like cut out a lot of stuff?
Yeah, they kind of.
I would watch Buu arc in Kai.
I'd be down for that.
I would not watch it as a full arc again. No. I think it was like 70 plus episodes. I can't remember.
Could be
it was
more, dude.
Freaking huge.
Yeah, it was a massive chunk. I think it took up more than maybe close to 50% of the entire, from like Frieza to Buu, ignoring Saiyan arc for a second. Frieza to the end of Buu, I think 50% of that was Buu, to show you how big it was.
I don't know. The Cell arc was big, dude.
Was it really? I'd have to go back and look at that.
Remember all the other androids that had to lead up to Cell?
I almost feel like that's its own arc, but I guess you're right. You're right.
They honestly probably do consider that, but like us considering Gohan in high school as part of the Buu arc is probably the same kind of deal.
Damn, you're right. You're right. But yeah, this does not detract from our love to Dragon Ball Z in any way.
Yeah, I love Dragon Ball Z. I love the Buu arc. I don't know why I just said that after,
because as much
Cell arc is my favorite though.
Yes, I would say Frieza arc is just a hair above. I do love it. I mean,
you're wrong, but it's cool.
Okay.
That's how we do things here, folks.
You are looking like a Cell right now. That's how small you're acting right now. Okay. But yeah, you know what?
That's smarts.
That's smarts. I know that hurt. I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever. I don't even know if I'd ever
give
watch
it a rating, bro.
Oh, I would give it
out of 100 Majin Buu eggs.
Out of 100 Majin Buu walnuts, I would give it, and not to be crass, a 69.
Okay,
that's accurate. Because the thing is,
moving on.
No. I genuinely was thinking to give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay,
but a soft, very soft 7, very soft. So I'm going 6.5, 65.
Okay. Yeah, I posed the question without having thought about it.
That's congratulations. You have played yourself in the game that you set up.
I'll say 60 because it was just like honestly a bad story.
Yeah. It felt weightless. It didn't feel I don't know. It didn't have a lot of staying power outside of nostalgia for me.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But
yeah, there you go. 60 and then a 65 for him.
We'll make it a clean 62.5, rounded to 63. You heard it here.
Just so y'all know, depending on however you thought this episode was, the previous recording of it was a bajillion times worse.
I don't think worse, just longer.
And worse. It sucked.
Worse and longer. But yeah, we're here revising our syllabus for you.
Yeah,
And
guys.
so, you know what? Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming
so
to
much
class.
for listening.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcast content from.
Correct.
We're also on the YouTube space. We now have video that we may or may not be using as more editing fodder to get our editing chops up. Hopefully you saw Nezuko in the last one. If I have time to edit it in, maybe I'll do it. Yeah, you saw it. Of course you saw it. You'll be happy to see it and then see me say this, and no big deal.
Yeah.
So
I would like to thank DJ Quad for our theme song, Dreams.
yes, and last episode, thank you very much to Dissect Disco for doing a song called Super Ultra Laser Beam. You can find him on SoundCloud and any of his other stuff on
Spotify, Apple Music.
Is that Apple Music now?
And Tidal.
Oh, he is on Tidal. Get that lossless format in your ear space.
There you go.
He's got some good EDM stuff. So, anything else you want to plug?
That kind of does it for me, man.
Check out the Instagram.
At
Weebology.podcast.
Check out our Instagram. Also, if you have a suggestion for the show or something like that, you can obviously email us at weebologypodcast@gmail.com.
Or hit us a DM on Instagram. We are checking that literally every day because those hearts fuel my body.
Yeah. Great point. So 5-star reviews on iTunes still help creators grow. We would also like, if you could, a review written on there. Also significantly helps rankings for podcasts. If you're watching this, like, comment, and subscribe. And
on the YouTube.
Also hit that little notification bell so you know anytime that we post a new video.
Hey, you didn't think you were getting out of class without homework, did you?
Should be every Monday, right, Ricky?
Every Monday at 7 a.m.
Right, Ricky?
You're talking about the YouTube?
Yeah.
It came out Monday. Shut up.
Okay.
Sometime Monday the YouTube will come out.
There you go.
Monday, 7 a.m. podcast drops on all of your services that you care about. Thank you everyone for coming to class. I'm Ricky.
And I'm Ethan.
And this has been Weebology. Reese's. Oh, I mean deuces. Sorry.
Bye.
Pieces.
This is just a bye for me.
Bye.